Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Oaks and Arrows. I'm Erin, a teacher turned homeschool mom, and I have 4 young kids that I homeschool. A little bit about me. I started teaching 8 years ago for a local public school, and that really opened my mind to the state of our education system. My first couple of years, I was in kind of like, I guess, a honeymoon phase with the public education system. Felt like I could make a difference. I still believe that good teachers can make a difference. But I just had this idea that like my children would be lights in the school system. And what I found from observing a classroom and observing friendships and observing kids that came from good Christian homes was that it was a lot less likely for my kids to impact those around them, at least in our small area where like you really don't have a choice of who your friends are. Your friends are just kind of chosen for you because the classes are so small here, and you'd think that would be this great thing, but with social media, we're all exposed to really the same things, no matter what community you're from. And I really saw that firsthand in the public school system. And then I switched to teaching virtually when I had my 3rd child. It just happened to be the same year that 2020 everything happened. You know what happened. And I was already teaching when that happened at the virtual school, and that just dynamically changed the way schools function, even in person now. It changed the way our virtual school functioned when I worked there. I really actually loved teaching virtually. If I had to go back, I would totally go back to the school that I worked for. They were great to work with. But the longer I taught, the more convinced I was that I needed to be the one educating my children. It was a conviction from God. It was something that my husband and I felt very strongly about. And so that began us working our tails off to be able to create a lifestyle where I could be home. Because at that point, my husband is in full-time ministry. He started full-time ministry 10 years ago, and I was a teacher in one of the lowest paying states in the United States. So like we had to figure out ways to change our lifestyles and change the way we did things in order for me to stay home more with our children. And I am not a completely stay-at-home mom. I do work. I work in ministry as well. I am a children's ministry director of our church. And so that's how we kind of that's how we were able to restructure our lives in order for me to homeschool. So now I homeschool our 4 kids. We run a homeschool co-op for about 40 kids from ages kindergarten through 12th grade. And we just meet 1 day a week, and it's a full day of extracurricular activities. And then the other 4 days of the week, we homeschool our kids. But without further ado, here is our 2nd grade curriculum picks this year for our 7-year-old. First up, for language arts, we are using The Good and the Beautiful. This is my 2nd time teaching through their language arts for 2nd grade. I have 1 child older than my 2nd grader. I also have a 4th grader. I've taught some of the subjects up to 3 times now with The Good and the Beautiful. And like I said, I was an English teacher. So I can see now that I've done the preschool curriculum through the 3rd grade curriculum and now starting the 4th grade curriculum with the Good and the Beautiful, how it builds to the concepts they're going to need to know by middle school and high school, the grades that I taught. So I really like the way the lessons are laid out. They have really simple, quick lessons. They're open and go. It's the perfect curriculum if you are just starting out as a homeschooler, because it really does spell everything out for you. This year in 2nd grade, she's in the Reading Booster C cards, and this is the last year that kids use these cards. They're introduced in kindergarten, and they use the cards in 1st grade and 2nd grade, and then they move on to more spelling and writing concepts in the older grades. So this is my 2nd graders last year using the booster cards. And now she's graduated from the little paperback books to real books. So she's really excited to jump into some actual chapter books. These are awesome. If you've never seen these before, each chapter you read a section and then they read a section, so that it allows you to really see how your child is reading throughout the year, because you're doing each thing right along with them. And in 2nd grade, they still very much need you to do a lot with them. The reading portion of the Good and the Beautiful I really enjoy. The books are super engaging for the kids. It's right on age level, in my opinion. Some people say that they are advanced. And while some of my children have definitely needed to slow down a little bit, other kids of mine have needed to actually skip sections of the curriculum because it was too easy. So I would say from my teaching experience that it's right on point with grade level. The next thing we're adding from the Good and the Beautiful is the handwriting for level 2. My daughter completes 1 to 2 pages every day, and each year the letters just get a little bit smaller. It is more and more student-led as the pages go on, and it just is the perfect addition to their curriculum. We love the Good and Beautiful handwriting. It's also a super affordable addition to your homeschooling. So we do that each day, and she loves working through these. The next thing I'm doing this year is Explode the Code. This is actually our first year jumping on the Explode the Code bandwagon. Everybody does Explode the Code. Everybody. At least in the YouTube world, if you're doing research, so many people use Explode the Code. And this was our first year jumping on board because my daughter did need a little more help with her phonics mastery and remembering some of those rules. So we got this, and it has been the perfect addition to our homeschooling. You can see she finished that page there in our first week of school. And it's something that my kids really love doing. So far, like I said, we're only a week into the school year. My kids have really loved doing these, and it's simple, quick lessons. And at 2nd grade, they really can do this on their own. So it's a great addition to your independent work while you're getting other siblings set up on their work. Next is math. If you watched my kindergarten curriculum picks from this school year, you will have seen that we changed our math program. We were using Horizons the last 2 years of homeschooling, and we realized as the years went on, it was not a good fit for our children. So we researched between Spiral and Mastery. Those are your 2 types of curriculum out there for math and language arts, and how they build the lessons, the strategies for how they build the lessons. And after doing Spiral for the first 2 years with math, we realized that we really needed a mastery-based approach in math. So we switched to Math UC. Here is Matthew C. We have only been using this curriculum for a week, and I know it's going to continue to build as the year goes on, but already this has been a night and day difference in the way math runs in our homeschool. It's been incredible. The way the lessons are set up is that you have let me grab it here. You have one lesson a week that you teach from your instructor book, and then the students have 6 worksheets to work on building the skills from those lessons. So you do not have to do all 6 of those worksheets. They are there to make sure your child has, again, mastered, like they are pros at this lesson. Like my 5-year-old, he was able to master his first lesson with just 3 worksheets. I know that he has that down, so we just did 3 of the 6 worksheets. My son in 4th grade, we ended up doing all 6 because he was refreshing his memory on his multiplication facts. So he needed all 6 to kind of like keep spurring his memory on his multiplication memorization. So he did all 6. And then my daughter fell somewhere in the middle there. She did maybe 4. She wanted to keep going. So again, you can do all 6 if you want to, but you don't have to. But the extra practice is there if you need it, and I love that. I will have to go into the differences and the pros and cons between Horizons and Matthew C in a future video, but I don't want to do that until I've used the curriculum longer and can really see if there's going to be any hiccups, any things I don't like, those sorts of things. But so far, it has been a game changer in our homeschool. Next is science. We are using the Good and Beautiful once again for our science. Now, I have used this before for our homeschool co-op for our elementary group, and again, I don't think anyone beats the Good and the Beautiful when it comes to open and go lessons. So we're doing the safety unit. I mostly chose this because my kindergartner was joining us this year, and he is, he needs to understand safety. So it's really great because it says 3rd through 8th grade, but this one comes with a younger kid guide too, where they can just kind of follow along in color. So that's what my younger 2 are doing. And then my older 2 are using the student journal that goes along with their lessons. So it asks some questions about what they learned. It's really easy for them as well. And the lessons are really good reminders. It goes over what is electricity, what is a flotation device, things like that. What is cross-contamination? And it goes through fire safety. It goes through protecting yourself against strangers, and some other really great lessons that our kids need. So this unit of science is one that we're adding just a couple days a week to our curriculum. We're alternating it with my son's history curriculum that he's doing now that he's in 4th grade. My 2nd grader is not doing a history curriculum yet. She's just kind of listening in on what he's doing. And then we're adding her into our family science, of course. My kindergartner, 2nd grader, and 4th grader are all doing the science. The safety unit is our first science unit we're doing this year. We aim to do 2 in our first semester. Our other one, my son chose, and I think it's about electricity. So our 2nd grader is going to do that one too. And then in the 2nd semester, we're going to do science again at our co-op. So I'll probably just leave science to our co-op in the 2nd semester. So for our Bible curriculum, we have chosen our 24 family ways. and we are actually doing this for the second year in a row. I was trying to think of what to do for Bible this year, and I knew we hadn't finished this one and we actually really liked it. So I was like, why do I need to choose a whole nother curriculum? We're gonna finish this one. So we are finishing our 24 Family Ways this year. It just has really quick lessons on different character traits for our kids to work on and think about, self-control, covetousness, respecting others, sharing with others. So it's great for all my kids to sit and listen to. And one thing I learned about Bible time with my kids and their ages, I used to stretch each of these to 20 to 30 minutes. I don't know why I did that, other than I was a teacher and so I was just like teaching away. But this year we've been doing these in about 10 minutes and my kids' attention are held the whole time. And we're still spending some time in prayer together, and it's been going great. So these can be as short of a lesson as you want or as long of a lesson as you want. They come with many questions that your kids can kind of think about and ponder and answer together, discuss together. And so it can easily be a longer lesson if you're wanting that for your homeschool curriculum. We wanted it to keep it short and sweet, and this allows you to do that. It's easily adjustable to whatever your family needs. So again, we're going to do this about 2 days, maybe 3 days a week, and we're saving one of our Bible days a week for our Awana stuff. I also run an Awana club for our church, and so 1 day a week our Bible time is just going to be working on our Awana program. Last but not least, we have read alouds. These are books that we do during our morning time with our entire family, and my kids love that time. We used to do it at the end of our school day, and we realized we weren't being consistent enough with it when we were doing it that way, so we've added it back into our morning time before we get into our core curriculums, and it's just been a nice time. Usually my kids have a little snack during that time, and we read together and just do maybe 1 or 2 chapters a day, keep it at, about 20 minutes, and that's perfect for my kids' ages. So some of the books that we are trying to read this year, I grabbed all of these. We might make it through 4, we might make it through all of these, we might make it through more. We'll just see. So the first one is The Sign of the Beaver. This one is what we're reading right now, and the kids are really enjoying it. The next one that we're gonna start as it cools down is Little House in the Woods. I've been so excited to go through the Little House in the Prairie books with our kids. And now that my daughter is in 2nd grade, I feel like I've got somebody that will really enjoy it with me. So we're gonna be reading this to start, and we might read another one this year also. Who knows, maybe we'll read all of them. I have the whole collection. So this was actually my copy of it when I was a little girl, so I'm excited to read this with my daughter this year. The next one is The BFG. This is one of my kids' favorite movies, and so of course we have to read the book. Another one we might read this year is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The original movie from the 60s or 70s, whenever it came out, is still a favorite in our house. And so we are going to read that, and we love adding a movie day to the end of our reading of a book that's now a movie, so we'll probably do something like that. Stuart Little was one that we started last year and didn't end up finishing, but my kids were enjoying it, so they wanted to read the other one that I showed you first, but we'll probably jump into this one maybe next, or Little House in the Big Woods. I'm not sure, but they were excited to do that one. And then the last one that I saw that I wanted to try out was My Father's Dragon. I've heard a couple homeschool moms talk about that one, and it's a really short read, so it was on Amazon, really cheap. So I grabbed those, and we're gonna read that one as well this year. But my daughter and son, my 4th grader and 2nd grader, are at the perfect ages for read alouds. They love listening to stories, and so we're reading through those. I think that's it. Those are all of the curriculum choices we made for the 24-25 school year for my 2nd grade daughter. I look forward to seeing below some of the things that you chose, and let me know if you're going to purchase any of the things that I mentioned. I'm just super interested in hearing about your experiences with the same curriculums, or what you switched to that you liked better. Please take a second to like the video and subscribe. I would really enjoy getting to know you guys and seeing you guys in future videos. Have a great day. Bye.